Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am giving us a few seconds just to let everyone who wants to be here time to sign in. I see our numbers rising. We are recording today's session. Julie, I see that your hand is raised. You may use the Q&A to ask any questions that you have. Welcome to another coffee chat, this time focusing on housing. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are really glad that you are here. Today's session is being recorded, so I will drop the website in the chat so it's there for you if you ever need to reference this coffee chat. You can also, on this particular website, watch past recordings and register for future coffee chats. My name is Renee Marquez, and I work with Future Wildcat Families, really a department that specializes in making families just feel more supported and connected as your student begins this exciting transition to college. So it is a really big milestone. For many of our students, living on campus is one of the most meaningful parts of their first year experience. Residence halls are more than just a place to sleep. They're communities where students build friendships, they learn independence, and find support as they adjust to life here at the university. We also know that housing can bring up a lot of questions for you as parents and family members. So you may be wondering about things like room assignments, move-in day, safety, roommate relationships, and really what daily life is like in the residence halls. So today's conversation is a great opportunity to hear directly from our wonderful housing team, and learn more about how they, as a collaborative team, support our students living on campus. So during our time together, I'll ask a few questions that we commonly hear from families. We also want to encourage you to share your questions in the chat. We have an amazing team of staff behind the scenes to help support that Q&A. Um, so our goal today is simple. Just want to help make sure that you leave today's conversation feeling more confident about the housing experience, and the support systems available to your student. So I just want to remind you that you're in a Zoom webinar, your audio and video are turned off. Please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen to ask any questions. There is an option to raise your hand, but we're not able to use that feature just because you don't have your audio. So please use the Q&A for any questions that you have. With that, I would love to introduce you to our housing team who will be presenting to you today. We have Dana Robbins Murray, Director of Administrative Services.
Welcome. We're excited to share with you.
Josh Hill, Assistant Director, Housing Assignment Services.
Howdy, folks. Happy to be here.
Jamie Matthews, Senior Associate Director, Residential Education.
Hello, happy to chat with you all today.
And finally, Zach Santos, Assistant Director, Student Engagement.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Excited to share what we have going on here.
Thank you all for being here. So, Dana, I am going to go ahead and give you full reins to our families here today and let your team fill them with all the housing information. They are ready to go.
All right. Well, welcome, everyone. So I'm going to start by telling you what we're going to cover today. If we're not covering something you have questions about, you're more than welcome to put it in the chat, as Renee pointed out. Also, too, our staff is available during business hours, 9 to 4:30 on Monday through Friday. You can give us a call and answer questions, to get answers to questions also. So what we're going to talk about today is first living on campus. We're going to talk about the application process and where we're at right now, what's next. Talk about the roommate process and the tools available, roommate selection, which we know is really important for your student. Then we'll talk a little bit about preparing for move-in and what move-in might look like. And then the Q&A, answering your questions as we go along, and also we'll hopefully be able to answer some at the end also. So, living on campus here at the University of Arizona is expected for first-year students who are coming to the main campus. So we will go over some of the reasons why we really want you to live on campus and the benefits of it. For those of you who are local to Tucson, we do have an exemption process if you're living within 30 miles of campus with family. And what you need to do is just go into our housing application, and then there is the information there for you if you have questions about that. So we're excited to have you come and apply for housing and live on campus with us. Once you have been admitted to the university and you've paid your enrollment fee, you'll be able to come into our housing portal and start the housing process to get you signed up for housing. One of the things we're doing new this year, and just to let you know, we can go into it more in detail if you need it, is that we are going to be putting students into the queue for the self-assigned process. When they get to pick their dorm and room, is going to be done by the time between when you are admitted to the university and when you pay your enrollment fee. So the sooner you do that, the sooner you'll get into the queue, or the earlier you get into the queue to get to pick your room and dorm. So we encourage you, once you're admitted, go ahead and pay your enrollment fee, and then you can get your housing application started. So why live on campus? We get that a lot. And for any of you who have lived on a university campus, you know it is a great way to meet people. You get to create a community and find people who have similar interests. It's a great way to become involved on campus. So we find that students who live on campus do better in school. They get the support to succeed. And Zach will talk about that a little bit more of what we do there. Make lifelong friends. And we have stories of students who are still friends with their roommate from their freshman year 20 years later. And it's a great way to start off making friends and having friends when you get to a new campus. And when you live on campus, you live where everything is happening, and you're close to everything. You're close to your classes, you're close to food. So it just makes the experience more integrated. There we go. Next slide. So one of the things we like to highlight, thank you. One of the things we like to highlight is our statistics show that students who live on campus for their first year have an 11% higher GPA on average compared to freshmen who live off campus. So that is a really strong reason to live on campus, to get the support and the integration into campus so that you succeed. And that's one of our main goals. We want you to do well here. One of the other statistics, great, thank you, is, there we go. One of the other statistics we are very proud of is that students who live on campus have a 50% higher four-year graduation rate than students who don't live on campus. And so that's great. Get through school quicker, spend less money because you're only spending 4 years here. And also our goal is we want you to graduate. We want you to have that diploma. So we're here to help you succeed in that way. So I'm going to pass it off to Zach now, who's going to talk more about the actual campus living.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with what opportunities to get leadership experience students will have while they're here. First off, every dorm on campus has what we call a hall council, and a great metaphor for this is it's student government for each dorm. So each dorm has a president. They may have a director of programming, which plans events for students, but it's a really great opportunity for students to start right off from the beginning of the year, getting some leadership experience, getting to know university staff, planning events, and creating those connections that we find so successful in helping students continue on. So beyond hall council, it won't be right away, but the RA position, we have almost 260 of them on campus at any one point. So every student will have an RA assigned that they can get to know and hear about their leadership opportunities there. The other one is desk assistants. Each of our dorms has a front desk, which serves as a welcoming presence and also a security presence as students enter the dorms. And so students can have the opportunity to apply for those roles as well. And I'm going to move into talking about more of our staffing positions on the next slide. So each dorm has a community director or a CD assigned to it. The CD is, as my staff, I supervise a couple of our CDs, are the adultier adults in the dorm. So they live in the building. Some of them have families that live in the building, but their job is to be that presence, to be a connection to the rest of campus. So the CD is known by the students in the building. They are there to help with that adjustment into college for first-year students, the connection to resources. If students are interested in getting research experience, their CD is their first stop to getting connected and across campus. I already mentioned resident assistants or RAs, but every student will have an assigned RA who will lead their welcome floor meeting during that the time between move-in and the start of classes. The RA's job is to get to know every single resident in their community. So what's their major? Where are they coming from? What do they hope to gain out of this year and this experience? And so any student coming in should expect to know their RA, and the RAs live on the floor or live in the wing, depending on which dorm they're in, but they will live in close proximity to the students. We have some academic support options in our dorms. Not every dorm, but quite a few dorms around campus host. We partner with our think tank academic support department, and we have in-dorm academic support sessions, tutoring, supplemental instruction, which is like group facilitated learning. We also provide access to every residential student, a cool resource called the Courses in Common List. So once students move in, they can log into this system, and if someone has opted in, they can see everybody that lives in their dorm that's enrolled in their same classes. So we really strive to connect students together that are going through those same things in their classrooms. We also partner really closely with our Disability Resource Center to provide students accessible living options that meet their accessibility needs, because we recognize that in order to be academically successful, you got to feel comfortable and safe and have everything that you need where you live. And so we work really closely with our Disability Resource Office. And then I already mentioned our Courses in Common List. So our next slide, we're going to talk about some lifestyle. As you can already imagine, college is an awesome time. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be challenges. And one of the awesome things about living on campus, our smallest dorm is 90 students. And so there are 90 students living right around where you're at, and being able to connect with people and develop those relationships for life is a hallmark feature of living on campus. It might be a roommate, may not be a roommate. That wasn't my experience, but it is some people's experience. And so meeting people that share worldviews, that don't share worldviews, that are coming from different backgrounds is a really neat opportunity. We also have open housing for students that is for students that don't want gender to factor into their housing placement. We will have programs and events for students throughout the entire year. And our expectation of our staff is that they are hosting these social events from day one after move-in. So there should be opportunities for students to engage with one another and to be able to have plenty of opportunities to meet each other. I'll delve into this in the next few slides, but we are launching a brand new option for living in discovery communities, which gives students the chance to explore highlighted topics. I mentioned that our desk serves in our safety and security response. So they are a constant presence at the front desk. Each dorm has a little bit of different operating hours to fulfill the needs of each community, but we do take safety and security as a really high priority. The RAs in the building, we have an RA on duty every single night. And so there's a phone number that's posted if somebody's locked out, if they're having an issue, the RA on duty is there to help solve those issues as well. And then Wildcat Living is our hope for students that by living in the dorms here at the University of Arizona, students will learn, they will develop in their understanding of responsibility. They will develop in their understanding of some core areas that they will have some really neat opportunities to work in. So I talked about responsibility, personal growth, and exploring who they are some of the highlights in that. I mentioned discovery communities, and they are for students that want to explore some concepts. So I'll delve into each one of these here, but they are global citizenship, leadership, sustainability, and our second year plus experience. First one is our global citizenship. So this is going to be housed in the Villa del Puente dorm. In order to participate, students would need to apply to be housed in this dorm. So select to live in Villa del Puente. But this is for students that want to explore topics around culture, language, and international relations. We have global themed dinners planned, global event conversations, and events in partnership with international student services and study abroad. So I would say if students are interested in studying abroad at any point, this is a fantastic community to get involved with. Yeah, and like I said, it's in Villa del Puente. Our next community is our leadership community. This is in Posada San Pedro dorm, which is also on Highland Avenue. We're going to be covering topics such as leadership theories and styles, emotional intelligence, communication, and conflict management skills. We're going to have workshops. We're going to work on some service projects, and students will have an opportunity to participate in some mentorship programs with folks here. So this is going to be a really neat opportunity as well. Our next one is our sustainability community, and we're going to cover topics such as local food systems, conservation, sustainable fashion, and urban ecology. And our activities, we have sustainability tours both on campus and off. We want to get people outdoors and in nature. Tucson is in a really awesome location, and so wanting to be able to share what we have to offer there. Some local service projects, and then in-dorm conservation challenges. And this community will be also in Highland, on Highland Avenue in Pueblo de la Cienega dorm. So in all of those communities, they will participate in early move-in. We'll have a welcome dinner together. We'll have some speaker series throughout the year. We'll have a field day where we compete in events, some athletic events, some non-athletic events to help people connect with each other. And for folks that enjoy competition, it could be really fun. We are going to have monthly community gatherings, which will have discussions. We'll have dinner together. We'll have an opportunity for people to connect on a monthly basis. Students will participate in a common read. We've selected the books already. They're nothing intimidating, but they are some interesting topics that will be thought-provoking for students. We'll have a signature event, an end of the year reflection event that we will have our students go through together. We'll have small scale engagements, think game nights that are around our topics here. And then a hallmark feature, we want to get students connected with their potential career fields. And so bringing in faculty and staff that can help get them connected and reflect on their experiences with future employers. So that's it for my section. I'm going to turn it over to Josh Hill.
Thanks, Zach. There's a couple questions about discovery communities I think we can just answer live really quickly. The size of the discovery communities, they could fill the whole building they are in. And so there's not like a capped size. It's the buildings they occupy could be the entire discovery community. And then for students who are, the question came up, I assume students that are interested in these community events do not need to be in the dorm they are held in. Do you want to address that, Zach, real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Josh. So if you want to participate in the Discovery community events, you will need to live in the dorm that they are assigned to. So if you're interested in sustainability and participating in those events, you will need to live in Pueblo de la Cienega. If you're interested in leadership, that will be in Posada San Pedro, and global citizenship will be in Villa del Puente. So they will be exclusive to the students that are in those dorms and in those programs.
There is one other question. Can you all talk about our transfer students living in the dorms as well?
Yeah, we have quite a few transfer students who live in the dorms and apply through the housing application process. Dates and deadlines may look a little different. They'll see that in their transfer process, but they do the same steps in the same housing portal. So they should log into the housing portal and they would go through the same steps to go ahead and apply for housing. So speaking of applying for housing and where you're going to live, I'm going to talk a little bit about the different dorms and kind of how folks can choose them. So when students are looking at our different 21 different dorms, they should be looking kind of at these three kind of big areas. They should be looking at the price points. And so our rates for next year are posted on our website. And so you can go ahead and review those now. That's housing.arizona.edu. And you'll see there's a rates link right on the top menu bar there. And so that can give you an idea of what the different buildings cost. It breaks down the cost for fall and for spring semester. So that way you have an understanding kind of planning budget. When you're looking at rooms, please note that the most common room in our system are going to be double rooms. And so that's where you and one roommate would live in a room. But we do offer some other styles of rooms. So we do have some singles. We do have some suite style. And some of these rooms are available for new incoming students. It just depends on what's available when it's time to pick your room. And we also offer some apartments in the Honors Village. And yes, new students could end up in an apartment if there's any available when it's time for Honors new students to pick their rooms in the Honors Village. So it just depends on what's available at that time. Another room type we offer is open housing. So our rooms are gendered. We have male designated rooms, we have female designated rooms. Open housing means anyone could live with anyone. We see this for a variety of reasons. And so folks can choose to live together. Sometimes we see family folks living together. We don't encourage people who are dating to be roommates. Sometimes things don't go so well, but that is another option where we've seen open housing being used for folks. The other thing to consider is our bathroom types. And so we have a few different bathroom types on campus. The vast majority are going to be community style restrooms. And so that's going to mean you're going to have multiple showers and multiple toilets in one restroom. And again, those are gendered. We do offer a few all gender options as well, where anyone could use that specific restroom. In those cases, though, we have a male and female restroom available on those wings as appropriate. The one exception is Yavapai, where it is all single stalls for the showers and for the toilets. The only place shared is the sinks. So very few rooms do have private restrooms attached to them or suite style. And a suite style would be where you have a double room that shares a bathroom with another double room. So 4 people using that room. Students might think they're excited for looking for suite style. Please note, though, that the community restrooms are cleaned multiple times throughout the day. Suite style, the students are responsible for cleaning themselves. And so we do find that a lot of folks really appreciate our incredible custodial staff cleaning those community restrooms. We can go to the next slide. There we go. So what's in the dorm itself? So as Zach mentioned, we have 24-hour staff on call. And so they are available via phone at multiple levels through our community director on call. And then they have people they can call if they need assistance. Our RA is available at night. We have desks in our buildings. So a lot of people available to help out. All of our dorms have laundry facilities and community kitchens available in the dorms. We have bike racks, whether interior or exterior to the dorm. It depends on the building. And we like to say we provide safe, clean, and secure living spaces. So yes, there is card swipe to get into the buildings. There is security access to get in. We have ice machines and vending machines. We do have those front desks. And all the buildings have different levels of recreation rooms or study rooms. And we offer accessible rooms and spaces throughout the different dorms. And one question that comes up is, are the buildings air conditioned? Yes, all of our buildings are air conditioned. So we do have that as an option. So what's in the room itself? Well, for each resident, you're going to have a bed. It's going to be a twin XL size mattress, unless you select a room that indicates it's a full size bed. We do offer those in a few of our dorms. And when students are picking rooms, they'll know that it'll be designated as they pick those rooms. All residents will have a desk and a chair. They will have a dresser. They'll have a closet or a wardrobe. Some of the closets are built-ins. Some are freestanding wardrobes. And then again, there'll be trash and recycling bins within the rooms as well. So look at the different dorms and to kind of see all the different options we offer and to get a feel for them, we highly encourage you to visit our website. We have virtual tours of all of our buildings that includes photos, walkthroughs, videos, floor plans, different room measurements. So you can really get a good feel of the different rooms as you're looking through the dorms on the website. And then you can look at the campus map, which outlines all of where those dorms are. So that way you kind of know where things are situated around campus. So, roommates, always a hugely popular topic. So, the roommate tools opened up on March 1st. So, they are available now for students who are doing their housing applications. So, you'll be able to log in and search for roommates. You could also log in and match up with the roommate you've already designated. So, there's a lot of different ways people will find roommates. The roommate tools offer students the opportunity to search across profiles or to ask what's the best match across all of my answers. So, the students are logging in, they're filling out a profile about do they smoke? Do they not smoke? There are no smoking in the dorms. That's just a popular question. People want to make sure they understand. When do they sleep in? Do they like to share things? These are all the types of questions that your students will be answering, and then they can find roommates that match up with them in the roommate tools. They will do that in the system. And having a roommate or not is really up to your student. About half of our students have random roommates, and they have the same level of experience and the same level of satisfaction at the end of the year as folks who came in with mutual roommates. In fact, random roommates is actually slightly higher. And we think it's because when you come in with your best friend, sometimes you realize you shouldn't live with your best friend. So again, here's the details. The tools are available now. Those students can complete their profiles. They can answer the questionnaire and start searching for students now. If you're looking for someone and you can't find them and you expect them, make sure they've already done their roommate profile. So again, when you're doing these searches, you're only seeing people who've already filled out the profile. So if you're not finding a match you like, it's okay to wait a while and then get your roommate match in before room selection. So it's really important to complete the housing application by April 1st if you want to be a student who picks your own room. Students who complete their housing application after April 1st will go through a different process. It'll look different. Housing will pick the room for you based on what's available. So for students to have the opportunity to select their own room, they do need to complete their housing application by April 1st. So room selection for those students who applied by April 1st, it's going to open in June. We will email folks about a week prior to it opening, and they will have an opportunity to go in and pick rooms. And it's like picking rooms at a concert or on an airline. When it's your turn to pick a room, you'll log in. You'll see what's available in that moment. You'll select your space. If you're in a mutual roommate group, you can pull your roommates in. So I think one of the questions earlier was who pulls who in or who gets to go in earlier. Whoever has the earlier time will be the first one that has the opportunity to log in and then pull their roommates in. And again, it's very much like picking seats at a concert. So if you pick a room because you really want to be in a certain room and somebody else picks the other bed, that's your random roommate because you both wanted that specific room. And again, about half of our students, that's how they end up having a roommate. It's because both people were interested in a specific room. So billing, the housing contract is for the full academic year. So we do bill our rent per semester, and there is an optional housing payment plan that your student will be able to opt into later in the summer during our pre-online check-in. And so that payment plan is optional, and what it will do is it'll take your semester's rent and break it into 3 equal payments, due about a month apart. If you opt in or not, that first payment, whether it's the full semesters or the first part of the payment plan, are due on the first day of classes. The rates do vary by room and room type and dorm. So again, please check out the rates page on our housing website. You can see the link there. And as a note, the price of housing does not include any parking should you choose to bring a car or the mandatory meal plan for our new incoming students. And again, we highly encourage you to apply today. The earlier you pay your enrollment fee is what's going to get you kind of in line for room selection. So the students we will be told the order based on how quickly folks paid their enrollment fee after being admitted, and that'll be the order folks are invited into room selection to select their rooms. And then, of course, we're excited for you to pick rooms in June. And then we're even more excited to have you join us in August. And so move-in information is starting to show up on our website. You're starting to get all those details. And so to get that out ahead of here, we wanted to show you what those early move-in dates. The vast majority of new students are going to come on August 18th through the 20th. There are some early groups that move in as early move-in. There may be limited early move-in for a fee. That'll all be available on our website, more information. And then our returners tend to come a little later before classes start on the 24th. And so I think we're still going to have plenty of time to answer questions and go through them. But if you do need to contact us, please do. Please reach out to our team. You have our website, our email, and our phone number there. And again, we have a wonderful customer service team who's happy to answer questions. And if you have specific questions that are really particular to your student's experience or your student's application, reaching out via phone or emails will be the best way to get you the specific information for your student.
Moving forward a little bit, Josh, this was so much information, and our
Mhm.
family still have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Are one of you interested in maybe kind of going and answering some of these live?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
So this one's is the housing contract a legal binding document?
It is. It's a legally binding document that your students get to sign if they're 18 or older. If they are not 18 or older when they're signing it, they will actually have to submit a proxy information for an adult to sign it, a parent to sign it. And again, that is really that outlines the dates and deadlines for when a student can maintain occupancy in the room, as well as what happens should a student move out of the dorms early. And it kind of outlines the different ways that could happen and what those impacts might be.
Okay, perfect. So if the honors dorms are not guaranteed for honor students, what other options are there? Is there kind of a deal breaker for us since other schools guarantee this? Would we be able to confirm this before accepting an offer of admission? It's a lot of questions.
Unfortunately, no, the timing wouldn't allow folks to confirm it prior. The Honors Village has filled in years past with honor students. It really just depends on the interest from the incoming honors class. We hold out about 800 of the beds for new incoming students. So it really depends on the size of the incoming honors group and how many of them choose to live in the honors village. If we're looking at other options, it's really any of our other 20 dorms. So we have honor students who choose to live in a variety of our dorms for a variety of reasons. Many do live in the honors village, but some, for whatever reason, choose not to. And so that is also an option available to all of our incoming honor students.
Do you know, Josh, is there room in the honors village like as of today?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Again, we hold those rooms for new incoming students. So right now, the only people who've booked for Honors Village are some of the returners in the spaces we've allocated for them. The rest of those beds, the vast majority of those beds, are currently vacant and ready for our new incoming class to select starting in July.
Okay, and then the question about athletes.
Mhm.
Do they have their own dorm? How does that work?
No, they don't have their own dorm. And so athletics lives in a variety of our dorms. A good number of them do choose to live in the Highland District because that is closer to the rec center. The athlete process, if they are a scholarship athlete, they will still apply for housing like normal. The steps they see in the portal may look different. So for some of our athletes, it doesn't look any different at all. They're picking their own rooms, they're going through the process, they're living wherever they choose. For a much smaller subset of our athletes, they're being assigned by athletics across a wide variety of dorms. Regardless, they still have to complete a housing application and they will go in, and that's what will tell them when they log in, they will know, am I picking my own room or am I going through the athlete assignment process?
Josh, you mentioned very quickly early move-in. Can you kind
Mhm.
of talk about the difference between early move-in and the new student move-in date?
Yeah, so most of our students are going to come during the new student move-in dates. Early move-in is going to be a select few of our groups that are pre-approved for early move-in. In the past, it's been groups such as the marching band. They come back for band camp earlier. We may see some other groups on campus have early move-in as an option. And so your student will know they're in one of those groups because they'll be invited into that group or their group coordinator will talk to them about that. Last year was the first year we did try the opportunity to offer very limited early move-in, just based on staffing and parking and all that jazz. So we will look to see if we can offer it again, but that limited early move-in does have a fee associated with it.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate you answering these questions.
No, not at all.
Can you go over one more time the difference between the April 1st date and the June date?
Sure. Students must apply, complete their housing applications. They have to do all the housing steps available to them in the housing app before April 1st if they're going to pick their own room. If they do that by April 1st, then they will be invited starting in June to pick a room of their choice. Students who wait until after April 1st to do their housing app will not be invited to pick their own room. They will be assigned a room sometime before they move in.
Perfect. We had a couple of questions for that one there.
For sure.
Let's see. I'm gonna move, unless you see one glaring at you, I'm gonna move on just to make sure we get through our slides, and we'll continue to answer the questions on the back end here. So, there's a lot of questions about moving your student, I saw here in the chat, over to Arizona and how does that work? So the good thing is we're gonna have another coffee chat on that. It's a whole 45 minutes that is specifically goes over what is the process? And what's cool about this coffee chat is we'll have current family members who've done it. So it could be from the East Coast. We do have families from the West Coast, even from here in Arizona. How did you move across the country to bring your student into these dorms? You know, a lot of times less is more, less stuff for their dorms. But we'll go over that. So that's on the 16th if you want to go ahead and register for that. We'll talk about meal plans. I did see that come up in the question, so that one's coming up on the 24th. And then for parents and family members signing up for the orientation sessions this summer, um, we will go over parking and transportation and how that works. So that is a separate fee. There are fees to it that really depends on where your student wants to park. So they kind of go there. It's a little bit different for parking. Just want to remind you that we are having 2 more admitted student days if your student is interested in visiting campus and really participating in one of our admitted student days. We did one already that was very successful. We have 2 more coming up Friday, March 20th and Saturday, April 11th. Your student can register in their Next Step Center for admitted student day if they're interested. And then just want you to save the date for Family Quest. These are in-person events for you as parents and family members to join us here on campus. We'll have a family mixer, a resource fair, true conference style sessions. We'll start with a welcome from our leadership, and then you can pick your schedule for the rest of the day with all these different topics that will be available for you. And then so we'll have those available to those that are coming to campus the week before school starts. Housing team, you have been incredible. Taking a look at the Q&A, just kind of want to answer some more of these live before we end our session here. Let's see, does a student need to know their roommate match before the April 1st date to complete the application or June 1st?
It'd be before you pick your room. So students, when we start sending out, and we'll send plenty of reminders, but you have until right before June 1st to select a roommate. So you do not have to have that decided or determined before April 1st.
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. I'm sorry, it's jumping around here. What is the overnight visitor policy?
I'm looking to Zach or Jamie. Zach.
Yeah, that's a great question. So first and foremost, we want students to be able to talk through with their roommate, if they have a roommate, that they are okay with those guests. That is our first expectation because of that shared space. Secondly, and Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's if roommates agree to it, it's no more than 3 nights in a row. Is that correct, Jamie?
Thank you. I just was pulling it up just to double check. It is no more than 3 nights within a 14-day period, and no more than 12 a semester. That is overnights between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. This is, again, as Zach was saying, really a lot of communication with your roommate on boundary setting and communication about guest policy.
Yeah, and those may seem like weird numbers. We, having been here when we implemented those policies, we did a lot of research into roommate conflicts, and having guests over was the #1 reason that roommates ended up having some disagreements. And so we recognized that if people were having guests over, or the same guests, more than 3 nights over a 2-week period, we saw a marked increase in the number of disagreements that they were having. So those numbers are rooted in some real experiences.
Okay, if families are coming for admitted student day, there is an option to see a dorm over in El Portal. They can visit housing there. For family weekend, there's a question about family weekend. Dates haven't been announced yet. We're hoping that will be announced soon, but they do have a website, familyweekend.arizona.edu. I can assume that it will be on that website first once it comes out. And I can drop that in the chat. Do we know, housing team, when students will get to pick their move-in day and time?
Early July is when the online check-in will open up. So I don't have the exact date, but it's pretty early July is when we would typically send out that invitation. And again, we'll send out emails well in advance to give folks a heads up. Hey, it's your time to log in and pick your move-in times.
Okay, and then thank you, Josh. Do students need to know their roommate before applying before April 1st?
Sorry, no, they do not need to know their roommate before April 1st. They can match up with roommates up until right before we invite them to pick rooms. So they have quite a bit of time still to find a roommate if that's what they want to do.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, where our questions are subsiding a little bit. So I just want to remind you that the housing team has a phone number that is staffed Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Their website is very useful. It has a lot of information on their website there. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to call them or send them an email, especially if it's specific to your student. And as always, the Future Families is here for you as well. I do get emails from parents who would like to know if maybe they missed a coffee chat and they want to know how they can watch the recording. The recording is on our website, futurefamilies.arizona.edu, and I can drop that in the chat. Just one more time, if anybody, I see it in the Q&A, didn't see that. But I just want to thank you, housing team. It's a fantastic presentation today. I appreciate your time in talking with our parents today. Living at the University of Arizona is just such an important part of first-year students, transfer students. It really is a great experience for our students. So if you have questions for our housing team, please reach out to us at any time. Thank you again for being here and supporting your Wildcat. We are going to hang out and make sure all these questions are answered. But thank you for joining us. This concludes our session today.
Good stuff. Hey, y'all. Renee or Logan, can we get a copy of the questions and answers from this session?
Absolutely.
Because I think we should probably go over some of them with you guys to clarify some things because there is some information that probably is not real accurate for the answers and just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yes, absolutely. I can pull that and get it to you tomorrow morning.
Great, send it to Allie.
To Ellie? Okay, no
To
problem.
Allie, yeah. But
Mhm.
yeah, I just want to make sure if there's things that we need to highlight to you guys to make sure we're really clear so we don't create confusion with the families.
Dana, did you see something that on the Q&A that maybe was...
Yeah, there was a few mentions that your housing time slot will be determined by your housing application date. And that was the previous process. That is not this year's process.
What's this year's process?
This year's process is your housing time slot is determined by the delta or the time between when you get accepted to the university and when you pay your enrollment fee to admissions.
Thank you
So
for clearing that up.
The sooner you, so when you get accepted, the sooner you pay your enrollment fee, that delta is where it's going to place you in line into the queue to pick your room. So the quicker you do that, the earlier in the process you will be. And we did mention that at the beginning, but it is a new process for us. So I think it's a little bit unclear right now. So we want to make sure it's clear for everybody.
Okay, thank you. So Dana, can you just go over that one more time for any of our families that may have missed that?
Sure. Am I on with the families or I'm just on with our
Yep.
team?
Yeah, you're on with the families who are still with
Oh,
us.
I thought they were all gone. I thought it was just us.
That's okay. No, that's
Sorry,
okay.
guys. Okay, so just to explain, and this is a new process for us. And so if you're used to the old process, please understand this is new for us. And hopefully I can make it clear for you. And that is that for housing, when you're in our group that gets to go in and pick your dorm and pick your room, which is the student picks their room, we put you in a queue. And the place in the queue is determined by the time between when you got accepted to the university and the time you paid your enrollment fee. So that delta. So let's say I got accepted to the university last Wednesday and I applied for housing. I paid my enrollment fee on Thursday. That delta is 1 day. If I got accepted to the university last Wednesday, but I don't pay my enrollment fee till this Wednesday, that delta is 7 days. And so we're going to use that delta or that number of days as the indicator of how we do the queue. So the quicker and the earlier you pay, the earlier in the queue you will be. The longer that delta is, the later in the process you will be. Josh, help me. Does that make sense?
Yep, that's right. The sooner folks pay the enrollment fee after being admitted, that's the order they're going to be placed in.
Yep. So as soon as you've been admitted, if you're thinking you're coming here, please pay your enrollment fee. So you have a tight delta and then get into the housing application and apply for housing so that you can get everything paid and all your information in there and get your roommate set up if that's what you want before we start the process in June.
Perfect. That was very clear. I appreciate you going over that, Dina.
No, I'm glad because I just noticed it wasn't very clear sometimes in our answers, and I just wanted to make sure people understood that.
Mm-hmm. We have a shared document that I think we may have taken that from last year, so I'll get that cleared up on our document.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and hang on to answer the rest of these questions before I end the webinar. Dana, are you able to help us with this one here? If a
Sure.
student has a deferred admissions fee, what happens with the Delta timeline?
When the date they do the deferred is the date that is noted inside the admission system, and that's the date we will use.
Okay, perfect. So they're in their Next Step Center, and there's a question in Next Steps that says, do you want to defer your enrollment? The day that they hit yes and get that deferred that's when it starts. Okay, gotcha.
Josh, confirming it is, I don't know if
Yes.
it's automatically approved or if they have to wait for it to be approved, but as soon as it's noted in the system, that's the date we use.
Yes, the date of deferral or the date of payment are both treated the same for figuring out order.
Okay. I just want to be respectful of your time. So we can go ahead and get these answered on the back end. And then I'll go ahead and stop recording. Thank you, housing team. I appreciate you. If you can help me here on the back end, I'd appreciate that. And then we'll go ahead and end this session.